Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about a little bit of a DRACO update. People are always asking about the DRACO. What's it look like now? How's it been shooting? It's one of my absolute favorite guns that I own of all time. The beauty of the DRACO is it's got a 12-inch barrel. You're getting full powder burn out of your 7.62x39 without all the added length of barrel, tripping you up, adding weight, making it less maneuverable. And this one actually has, it's an SBR, so we actually have a fixed stock single tang trunnion in the back. So we have the option to run full-size stocks, and I also sometimes will run my crutch folder on it. If I want to make it really small, I can fold it up, and it's just so versatile at this point. I think it's the perfect AK for the amount of money that you'll spend on it. Can't go wrong with a full-size Romanian DRACO. It's the little AK Commando, man. Specifically in today's video, I want to talk about how I've slightly modernized it with some JMAC parts. I know there's always JMAC stuff on this channel, but this one's kind of interesting. So for a long time, JMAC's been hyping up the MMS rail. It's a semi-free floated rail that they're selling in all different barrel lengths for all different types of AKs. And the way that it mounts is pretty simple. It just has a barrel clamp all the way at the back, right as the barrel starts to enter in the receiver. Clamps the barrel, and then you just sort of slide this handguard on that bolts onto that barrel clamp. So really the only place it's touching your barrel is at the very rearward point. So even if you do run their long rails and you were to flex it a little bit, it never really should change the point of impact. A couple years ago, we actually shot this at Kalash with the full-length MMS rail, and we did extremely well with it. I think that year we took a second place finish in the dot division, and I came away thinking that the DRACO just felt a little bit more accurate without any torque being put on the barrel at all. And that's one of the cool things about the MMS. So after some time had passed, they actually started coming out with some optic mounts. In that old KCON video, in fact, I'll link that down below, you'll see the Aimpoint T1 optic mount that just bolts directly to the lower handguard. That's been going on for a while. This is brand new. The JMAC top cover is something that they have been prototyping for like a couple of years at this point. I've been seeing pictures of this thing for a long, long time. And kind of like how the Zenitco B33 couples to a Zenitco B10 lower or a B30 lower, it's kind of the same principle. So you have your MMS rail, and you can see down in there your barrel clamp. So we actually have a clamp on the barrel that's actually about that long. You slide your handguard over it and bolt it on to the barrel clamp. This section here that actually meets the MMS rail to the receiver has some threaded holes, and that's where these two ears bolt on both sides, straight down with 4 bolts. Still allows you to keep your factory leaf sight. There's actually 2 bolts that utilize these 2 circular pieces here, and you'll notice the hole's not dead center. The reason for that is if you actually are mounting this thing and if you notice that your dust cover is like too far back or too far forward, it just rotates it. It pulls everything forward or to the back. Mine seems to set kind of dead center, top dead center there. Once you kind of get your length right where it all falls down into place, you'll notice back here, you can kind of see that little nipple down there. There's a piece that actually fits into the groove that your factory recoil rod would fit down into, and it's held in with a set screw. With your new recoil rod, you'll notice that it actually grooves with a dovetail right onto that piece, just like that. And then you see back here on your dust cover, you have this notch. That's what keeps all your left to right shift from happening. Once it's all closed, you'll see it falls right down on that groove, and with a couple of charges from the charging handle, pops right back into place, and everything theoretically should go right back to where it was the first time. So it's just a totally out-of-the-box way to mount one of these. I mean, I've tried all different kinds of chassis systems, and that one's very different. I put them through matches, I've put them through classes, lots of videos, lots of high round counts. The only neg is it's very thin, so they heat up really within like a mag. So with like 1 mag of 7.62, so I would recommend a forward grip. We're just running a little slate black hand stop. But you have all this room for activities here that you would never have on an AK. And so many people just don't trust railed dust covers, but you actually have companies that are really making good ones. TWS is doing a great job. Zenitco is doing a really good job. And JMAC seems to be doing a really good job with these. So overall, I would say the install, if you're a novice, it's not that bad. If you've torn your AK apart 100 times and put on 100 different bits of furniture, this is nothing. It's just some Allens. That's all you're gonna need. getting hot. I do get quite a bit of gas blowing back into my cheek from right here on the dust cover. I mean, all AKs will do that. I feel it a little bit more from this guy being aftermarket, but it's fine. I will say this JMAC top cover coupled with like the medium height from the Visor clone from Novus, pretty good. I know some people are kind of think the looks of this thing's a little too futuristic, like a little too much. And I guess if you're more of a traditional guy, I can dig that. My taste that I've been like cultivating over the past few years, I kind of like a little bit of old mixed with a little bit of new. But as far as this thing goes, it just seems kind of minimal. Like you don't have to commit to a lot. Like you can literally just get the shortest lower handguard MMS that they make. That's all you need to give yourself the dust cover. And if you don't like the dust cover, you can literally go with like the shortest handguard that they make and just use the little shorty top piece to mount like a T1. It seems like they have options where you don't have to like fully commit to the crazy space age upgrade, the whole chassis system. I think that's kind of cool. That's one thing I like about Zenitco. You don't need everything. You just need a short lower handguard, and then you can put a B33 on it. This is similar. You don't need everything to get the top cover. So that's pretty cool. I personally, out of the whole MMS system, I think the railed gas tube is probably my least favorite part. I just don't like the aesthetics of it, but I like wood. I think the wood looks really cool. It's a deep contrast between super modern black aluminum and like poorly refinished blonde Romanian wood. I think it's a cool contrast. I don't know, man. I just kind of like a little bit of old mixed with new. I don't really all the time like to fully commit to new chassis systems. If I'm gonna do that, I'll be honest, I'm probably gonna go with Zenitco. I just think fully committing to Zenitco looks proper on an AK. Everything about it just looks like it's fully freaking proper for an AK. With the JMAC stuff, I like mixing the wood with it. I think it kind of has a cool aesthetic. And you know, can we just appreciate how beautiful an AK can shoot with a K&S piston? I don't know if you can see that, but the rounds are just dribbling out of this thing and it's being reliable. Let's shoot a couple fast ones. I mean, come on. The DRACO, as of right now, is pretty much ready for anything, I think. We have a suppressor mount. It can also be a muzzle brake. It can also be a booster, which we don't need. We have a K&S piston. We can run any can we want and tune for it. We have M-LOK, lights, lasers, PEX, whatever the hell you want to do. You have space for that. And it allows us to couple on the JMAC top cover. Sky's the limit as far as optics go. The DRACO is just bad to the bone, dude. It's lived so many lives. It's been set up so many ways. So cool. You know, I originally put this thing together for suppressor use. I always wanted it to be a little Romanian commando that had suppressor capabilities. The Wolfman from Dead Air is not like the ideal 7.62x39 can, but it can handle it. It has a little bit more back pressure than a typical rifle can because it's really meant for like sub guns, but it can handle 7.62. And I don't know if you heard, but it's got a really interesting tone to it. It has a good sound. It's a good exhaust system. We're still boiling hot, so we're gonna keep magwell gripping, but we'll do some reloads. I don't feel like we've changed the weight of this gun all that much, adding all this extruded aluminum. What is that, like 1 second dead? Yeah. It's probably not, but. One miss. Woo, that felt good. I gotta give the JMAC top cover, honestly, 2 thumbs up. And there's a big reason for that. I just think the way that it mounts is so out of the box. I haven't seen anyone else attempt to mount a top cover like this, regardless of how it looks. I think it's a little, maybe a little much on the futuristic look, but you know, a lot of the JMAC stuff seems to be following that trend. Other than the hyper futuristic look, I honestly think this is probably one of the best ways I've seen a dust cover couple on to an AK. I just don't see how it can move, and it hasn't moved. It has so many different things, like 3 big points of contact, that I just don't see how it could move left, right, or up, down. Everything is so tight. Disassembling the top cover, taking it on and off, is honestly pretty easy for how tight it goes back together. And like I said earlier, I like that I don't need the full MMS. I don't need the railed gas tube because I don't like the way it looks, and I don't need to run a full-length lower handguard. I could have a full-length AK and just run the short piece and still have access to the dust cover. So for that, I think it's really cool. I like how it kind of follows the Zenit code trend there. I would say the only neg is that you have to have the MMS to make it happen. So when compared to like TWS, you don't need anything. You just need an AK, and you can get a TWS rail. So cost-wise, TWS, for what you're spending, is still probably the absolute best way to have a rail dust cover. If you want to spend a little bit more, if you're already planning on having M-LOK and modern stuff on your AK, the JMAC starts to make a hell of a lot of sense. It is expensive, but if you're already going to go this route, you might as well get the MMS from JMAC, because then it opens you up to all of their optic mounting solutions. If you want to keep your AK factory and you just want a rail dust cover, TWS is the way. It just is. If you want a modern AK, this is badass. I got to give it 2 thumbs up. And JMAC's just a great company. I mean, say what you will about JMAC, but they have absolutely blown the lid off AK aftermarket. Their muzzle devices alone have made owning AK so damn easy. This whole video, we're running a JMAC brake that can be a brake, a booster, and a suppressor mount, all in one, with one muzzle device. Not a lot of stuff can do that, and they make them for all the weird thread pitches that people have forgotten about. JMAC's really made it easy to suppress any AK from any country with any thread pitch, with any barrel concentricity. So that's badass. So the DRACO as a whole is a pretty freaking capable package right now. And it looks weird as shit, doesn't it? It's a lot going on, but dude, it works. This thing's so light on its feet. It's accurate, it's handy, it suppresses very well. Coupled with the K&S, with that muzzle device, keeping everything perfectly straight and true. It's awesome. This actually has a JMAC barrel back when they were making barrels like 5 years ago, because my DRACO barrel was so whack. Maybe that's why it's so accurate. It's an American-made barrel that's non-chrome line. Anyway, that's your DRACO update. JMAC dust cover. It's actually really good. All right. Thanks for watching. Hey, if you're seeing this video and you want to take your pimped out AK and actually shoot it at a competition and test yourself, Kalash Bash is right around the corner. It is the biggest AK match and event in the country. 50 to 60 AK vendors, all at this range right here, that are bringing guns for you to shoot. An 8-stage competition with over 325 people just like you wanting to shoot. It's right around the corner. I'll put the link to that down below. Come on out. If you don't come to Kalash Bash, ask yourself, do you really even like your AK that much? If you do, you need to come out. It's worth the trip. All right, thanks for watching, y'all. We'll see you later. That felt good.